got a confession. Case is officially closed.
Penelope Williams has been arrested with the near-fatal stabbing of Gary Porter.
What?
That's crazy.
We don't think Penelope did this.
Why did you agree to represent Penelope? Did you stab Gary?
Came to talk about Tamara.
Should I know her? Should I know you?
How bad is it?
Why, Hayden? Are you afraid of what Gary might remember?
Say that again about me being a bad role model. Good.
Bro, you heard me. I didn't stutter.
It was nice to have you there to defend me.
Oh, I don't know where this is going, but I like it.
Fatima, are you pregnant?
Give it to a straight dog.
Are you sure you wouldn't rather discuss this in private?
I think I'm having a heart attack.
Danny, what is going on?
You guys have everyone who could have had a motive, including me.
I can't believe it, man.
I may have made a mistake.
I saw her. It was a woman.
Tyler Perry Sistas returns Wednesday, January 1st at 9. Watch it live on BET.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv and I'm here to break down the trailer for Sistas Season 8B. The trailer starts off with Agent Watt talking to Robin. He's like, we got a confession. No, Agent Watt, you didn't get a confession. You just got somebody asking you a rhetorical question. You took the rhetorical question and took it as a confession, which it was. I'm guessing Robin's friend at the precinct called him because he's down there talking to Agent Watt, and when Agent Watt gives Robin the news, he's sitting there smiling. Robin is very happy that Andy didn't get charged for this, even though he knows that she didn't do it at all. Then we see the flash clip last episode of Penelope getting carried out the precinct in handcuffs, and I'm like, Penelope, didn't anybody teach you don't talk to law enforcement without a lawyer present? Penelope, you're so smart that you're so dumb, because you should also know that don't go in there talking just about anything, because they're going to turn your words and turn it into something that's not. And she might be going to trial for this. You can at least plead temporary insanity because you clearly don't remember nothing. The word of Penelope's arrest has spread rather quickly because it's on the news station and Zach and Fatima are watching it at home. And it's like, Penelope Williams has been arrested for the attempted murder of Gary Porter. And Zach and Fatima are like, what, how? Because they still think that Hayden did it due to the information that Zach found out when he followed it. Over at Karen, she's talking to somebody on the phone and she's like, that's crazy. I wonder who she's talking to and what she's talking about. Because she be talking to Andy and Andy's letting her know that Penelope got arrested. Then we see Zach and Fatima talking to Andy. I guess Fatima called Andy over after the news that she heard of Penelope getting arrested. And her and Zach are like, we don't think Penelope did this. Fatima, I'm with you. I don't think Penelope did this either. That's too easy. Of course, it may sound right that Penelope did it because she had a lot of vengeance toward him. There's a lot of other people out there that still have a lot of vengeance and motives towards him to do it too. And I wonder if this will be when Fatima tells Andy about the whole Tamara and Gary situation. And I wonder if this will lead to Andy helping Zach and Fatima obtain the footage of the sex tape that Hayden had. Penelope's locked up, they won't let her out. And we see Penelope behind bars and she's talking to Robin. I'm like, Robin, what are you doing here? Weren't you just representing Andy? Now you're trying to represent Penelope? What is this about? What if Robin tries to represent Penelope to get back at Andy because Andy hurt his feelings when she turned him down? What if Penelope gets inside of Robin's head and tries to make him think that Andy actually did do this? And either way, Robin representing Penelope definitely has me looking at him sideways after he just represented Andy. Speaking of Robin representing Penelope, Robin's over at Andy's penthouse and she's asking him, what made you decide to represent Penelope? We all have that same question, but I really think it's because you tried to turn him down and he doesn't like that and he's very obsessed with you, so he's going to try anything to get back at you. This is one of his mind games to try to play with your mind and get in your head, because Andy asked him, did he stab Gary? No, I don't think he stabbed Gary, Andy. I think he's definitely working with Hudson though, based off that phone call that Hudson made. Whoever he was talking to, he was like, we have a problem, and I think it might be Robin. I think that Hudson and Robin are working together. I even think that Robin's the reason that Gary got investigated by the FBI, and I think Hudson's only working with Robin because he wants to take over Gary's company. If you remember in episode 10, Robin told Andy, I haven't forgotten what him and Hayden did, so I think Robin's definitely the ringleader of all this. I think the stabbing was just icing on the cake. Then we see Hayden at the hospital. Now I take back about what I said about Hayden being a killer. Gary has woken up from Hayden trying to smuggle him, and he's like, I'm here to talk about Tamara. Gary's like, do I know you and should I know her? Hayden probably thinks he's joking and he's just playing around. And He's trying to act delusional. He really doesn't remember nothing, and I think what it will take for him to remember is Hayden showing him the proof in his phone of the sex tape that he has of him and Tamara. Hayden doesn't know that Gary has retrograde amnesia, and I don't think it's going to change the fact of he still heard what Gary did, but it might show a little snippet. Speaking of Hayden finding out about the retrograde amnesia, it's not until Hudson walks in the room and he tells Hayden about it, and Hayden's like, how bad is it? And I wonder if Hudson found Hayden trying to smuggle Gary. Hudson says something that has me thinking. He's like, are you scared of what Gary might remember? Is he talking about what happened in that moment? So Hudson talking about the night of the wedding? Because as soon as the word got out that Gary got stabbed, Hayden was trying to leave the country. Only the people that are guilty of a crime try to leave the country after the news gets out. Hayden might not be guilty of the stabbing, but he's definitely guilty of something, because why are you trying to flee the country if he didn't do nothing wrong? Over at the hospital, we see Zach, Karen, and Aaron, and we know that Karen isn't going to labor. She probably had Braxton Hicks or something and thought it was labor pains. In the waiting room, we see Zach and Aaron arguing over, don't say I'm a bad role model, and if you say that again, we're gonna see what happened to y'all getting along. Everybody was getting along, everybody was growing. Why y'all arguing? Over at Karen's, after the incident at the hospital, she's talking to Aaron, and she's like, I'm glad you were there to defend me. Karen, honestly, I think you like playing a damsel in distress, and you always like somebody there to save you, especially Aaron. Then these two kiss each other, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad y'all done fighting it. Aaron, just beware. They won't write Karen a new love interest that she'll actually be with, because she's always going to compare them to you or Zach, so you might as well just be with her anyway. Over at the salon, we see Pam over there talking to somebody, and she's like, I don't know where this is going, but I like it. I don't know who she's talking to. Could she be referring to something that has to do with Rooster Riches? I would really like to know. Over at Zach and Fatima's, we see this scene before Karen actually goes to the hospital, and she's asking Fatima, is she pregnant? I think Karen asked that question based off the conversation that they were having before, and it makes me think that Zach said something or Fatima said something that made Karen think that Fatima's pregnant. It could also be because Karen feels like Fatima can't add her 2 cents in the conversation since she's never been pregnant before. Karen asking that question, will Fatima be honest and be like, yes, I am? And how will this change the relationship of Karen and Fatima now? Since they were actually coming to a common space and a common ground and growing to be better, I wonder if the news about Fatima being pregnant, if Fatima's actually honest and says she is, would Karen revert back to her old ways? Rich and Sabrina finally go meet with Dr. Moore after Rich got the call at the basketball court saying that he needed to come in because they want to talk to him in person about his sample. We already know that the bad news is that Rich's soldiers might not be marching properly and you might not be able to have kids. But Dr. Moore is like, you sure you don't want to talk about this in private? Sabrina's gonna be devastated when she finds out that Rich can't have kids. Sabrina's probably gonna feel a little bit of resentment towards Rich and be like, I should've went with my first mind and went with Damani, because I know that he's a guaranteed choice. No, I listened to you and now I can't get what I want. And I only listened to you because you were jealous, because you don't want me to have kids with another man. Now I might not ever have the option. At Danny's, we see Carisha running and like, Danny. I realized that she called Carisha telling her that she was having a heart attack instead of 911. But Danny's not having a heart attack. She's having a panic attack and an anxiety attack, and those could feel like heart attacks. Then in the law firm parking lot, we see Andy mace the man that was trying to attack her. Not only did she mace the man, she used the fighting skills that Fatima taught her, and she put them to good use. My girl, Andy, had them fist up, and she was swinging, and I'm glad she used them fighting skills and defended herself. I really want to know who this man was that was swallowing her. Was it somebody that Robin hired to protect her, or was it somebody that Hudson hired? In this flash clip, we see Tony running into Danny's house after he got the news of Danny having a panic attack, and I'm like, Tony, none of this would have happened if you would have let her go and stopped the conversation about what you was trying to talk about, because you know that it triggers her, and triggers are the main cause of a panic attack. Mind you, Rich is standing there while he's running through the door, so I guess Danny called Sabrina for help too. And Rich came with. Back over at Zach and Fatima wound up showing Andy the murder board because they're still having a conversation on whether they think Penelope did it or not, and they don't think she did it. Andy's like, you have everybody on the suspect board, including me. Andy, everybody's a suspect until proven guilty. Don't you know that as a lawyer? I know they taught you that in law school, even if you're a divorce attorney. But the person that y'all really need to be looking at is Tamara and Hayden on that suspect board. In one of the flash clips, we see Sabrina talking to Danny, and Danny is holding her head down, and I think this is the day after the panic attack, and Sabrina's probably asking her how the panic attack started, and Danny's probably like, Tony triggered me after I told him to leave me. Then we see Andy meeting with Robin, and I'm like, Andy, there's nothing to talk to Robin about after he put you on mandatory leave. For one, you slapped him at the law firm. 2, he basically tried to manipulate you and gaslight you into falling for him after you wouldn't do what he says. If I were you, I would tell Robin not to contact me anymore if it's not business related. Because if you keep talking to him on a personal level, he'll think that y'all try to get together and you'll see how obsessed he is. At the hospital, we see Agent Watt going to talk to Gary about Penelope's arrest, and he's asking him, did Penelope do it? I'm like, aren't you supposed to do all your investigating before you make an arrest? Isn't this kind of backwards? If I was Penelope, I would sue the precinct for a wrongful arrest, because how are you going to arrest me without getting the concrete evidence and facts and talking to the victim? It definitely looks like Gary's memory might be coming back a little bit, because he looks a little angry looking at that picture of Penelope. In this flash clip, we see Tony, Rich, and Jordan at the bar, and in the end credit promo of episode 11, Tony is telling the guys that he doesn't know what to do about Danny anymore, because every time he's with her, he triggers her, and he doesn't want to be the cause of her having a mental health demise. She's probably telling the guys about the news that he got from the doctor about his sample, and how you can't have kids, and Jordan's probably talking to the guys about everything that's going on with Penelope and how Penelope got arrested. And he winds up talking to Jordan, and she's like, I think I made a big mistake. I don't know if she's referring to the relationship, something that has to do with Penelope, but whatever it is, both of y'all don't need to be together at this moment. If I were Jordan, I would tell Andy to kick rocks for no socks. Over at the law firm, in this flash clip, we see Fatima's training up Hayden's tie, and this is one of their banter arguments where she always straightens his tie up after it or slap. Penelope, all I could tell you is plead insanity, girl. Plead temporary insanity. Tell them folks that you wasn't in your right frame of mind, or even to the precinct for wrongful arrest, because they arrested you based off of a rhetorical question that wasn't even a confession, and the agent knows that you're not in your right mind. Also, ask Robin why is he even there, and why does he want to represent you after he represented Andy. Then we see Agent Watt in Gary's hospital room, and I think this is prior to him showing Gary the picture, and they're going through all the details. He's probably asking Gary, do you know who stabbed you? Was it a man or a woman? And Gary's like, it was a woman. We already know that it was a woman based on the placement of the knife, because no man would stab another man near the chest, which is close to his heart. This is a woman that was scorned and wanted to get back at him. The question is, which woman was it? Because we know that it wasn't Penelope, because it was too easy. Could it be Tamara? Or could it be his ex-wife, Jasmine? On the Sherry Show, when the cast of Sistas was there, Crystal said that we won't believe who stabbed Gary. But let me know what you guys think about the trailer. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye!